Bonjour, Amelia.
Bonjour, Barbara.
Welcome, Amelia.
Bonjour, Amelia. How are you?
I'm very well, Jerry.
Yes, what's going on in the world of business?
So we are talking about this morning about reviving national airlines as seen in Nigeria, in Tanzania and in Uganda. Hello and thank you for joining me for this week's business segment. I am Amelia Martha Nashtimbo, and let's zoom in on Eastern Africa, where Uganda is the latest to accelerate plans to revive her national flag carrier after 17 years. There'd always been talk, especially after the country's 2016 elections, to revive the Uganda Airways, but it was just that. Talk. The decision to act could have now been accelerated by neighboring Tanzania, which sent Air Tanzania in the skies. But one major concern in the country is if the country is ready to leverage on its strategic location on the continent and low-lying altitude, yet it's coupled with poor management that led to its liquidation in the first place. I put this question to aviation expert and former Ugandan Transport Minister, Captain Francis Babu.
Uganda Airlines was never started, first of all, on good premises, did not have a good capitalization, nor did it have people who sat down and worked out the numbers on how it should work. When the government realized there was a lot of mistakes, they disbanded it. They did not continue with it, hoping that they will restart the airline at the right time in the future. It did not collapse. And this is the time to start an airline for Uganda. If you don't start it today, you'll still start it after 10 years. The question is, you want to start it now, or you want to wait for 10 years?
Now, as one step towards reviving the airlines, Uganda has coughed out a starting capital of $400 million for purchasing 6 planes. And there are questions about the choice of the Airbus, a deal reached at the recently concluded Farnborough International Air Show 2018. Is Uganda wiser than other countries by purchasing the market infamous Airbus A330neo? Captain Francis?
To me, a good startup should not buy aeroplanes to begin with. They should lease the aeroplane for 1 or 2 years, train all the required personnel, including management. And then when they realize the routes they have taken on, in 3 years are doing reasonable well, then they can sit down and figure out which aeroplane is good for those routes. Secondly, these aeroplanes, they are not the best in the market. Ethiopian Airlines, Kenya Airways, who are now a little bit more established on the ground, and now Air Tanzania, they have all bought the Boeing 787 Dreamliner. Now, that is one of the most efficient airplanes in the world, to an extent that Kenya Airways and Ethiopian Airlines have sidelined their Boeing 777 and bought a 787, and now Kenya Airways is going to start going from Nairobi direct to New York, because that aeroplane is fuel efficient.
Thank you, Mr. Babu, and I'm glad that you pointed out the case of other regional airlines. If Uganda's plans fruit in November, this will increase traffic in Eastern African skies, already being served by Africa's biggest airlines, Ethiopia Airways, Rwandair and Kenya Airways, which is still struggling to stabilize its wings. Now, the country plans to launch direct flights to London, Brussels, Dubai, Doha, Johannesburg in South Africa, Lagos, Kinshasa, Mumbai in India. These are routes that are currently being enjoyed by Turkish Airlines, Qatar Airways, KLM, other than the regional carriers. For a traveler within the continent, I am more interested in direct and less costly flights, but that does not seem like a near realization given the operational and managerial costs that are going into sustaining these airlines. Interestingly, East Africa once had a powerful joint airline which ceased operations a decade after the colonial era. Now, other than the pride of owning a national carrier, I think the idea of a joint regional carrier is a good one, especially if it assures clients of good services given combined efforts. And in West Africa, Nigeria is hoping to take over West African skies with Nigeria Air in December after the launch last week. And that's it for today. See you next Wednesday. Bye.